go do a franchise or something, we looked at equity partners. We're still out. We're trying to see how can we scale it? We bring on equity partners. You look at a 5 to 10 year return of 5 or 10x. When I came in this morning, I'm thinking, without any exceptions, I think we need to revisit what we're doing as a business owner and put ourselves in a little bit different spot to think bigger. I'm basing on everything about the dump news right now is based on hearing you yesterday and hearing your questions and interactions with me. Basically, I didn't say that. Your investment to date, June, I had to brainstorm this morning. I hear this a lot. I gotta get my money back, or I gotta get my deal. I gotta. So you guys understand what the equity world looks like when you go do a franchise or something? We looked at equity partners. We're still out. We're trying to see how can we scale it? We bring on equity partners. You look at a 5 to 10 year return of 5 or 10x. And we beat ourselves up if we don't have a deal. It drives me crazy. The second thing, I shared it with Judy because she has said it does, but everyone has it one shape or form or another, and that is, I gotta pay myself back, or I gotta get my money back. Why? What do you mean? If you buy a franchise, they will give you a prospectus, and the prospectus will say, Rick, you might break even in year 3, 4, or 5, maybe. But if you don't, you gotta figure it out. So it's a much longer term thing for some people. And if you're in that, where you go, I either want my first, or I want to ramp it up, then you got to dig deeper and find out how you can do that, because people are doing it, right? It's like if you're in a franchise, forget me for a second, you're in a franchise and it's not getting done, what would you do? You call corporate probably and say, who can I talk to that's killing it? Would you not? Okay, so what comes to mind for me right there, and it's not up on the board, those are just some bullets. What comes to mind for me right there is, if you're not getting it done, how many private sessions have you had with myself or someone else to say, where am I effing out? How can I get better? How many times have you called Rick, if he's got the success he has? How many times have you called Mallory? She just took her third taken in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, wrestling. Like, why? How is she doing it? Why is no one asking her? It drives me crazy. The mastermind should be filled with, hey, Pepper Mallory, she just got her third taken. Stuff like that.
She's not even calling a lot.
No. Super confident, right? And that comes from what? People like, we're gonna hit all this. Okay, so think of it as a return. Like, if I were you, I would say, and this is for anyone, because coaches will get this from new students, right? So this is good stuff for you, but also your students. It's in a chamber. I invested X amount. Now my goal is to convert that capital to a return 20 times eventually. How fast can I do it? Everyone's different, but don't beat yourself up on it. I wrote down $200 just to remind me. So a few of you guys, your knee jerk yesterday with Nick was, if something was 100 or 2, and I'm like, you should be looking for what hundreds or 200 you can do if it's going to 10 times your return or your efficiency. I think you guys know that now. I think I'm stating the obvious yesterday at this point. Little things like Judy this morning, this is down here, but we were brainstorming about call critiques, and she said, well, I didn't send all because some of my messages. Send me the messages. What if you can leave 10 messages and get 2 callbacks versus none, for example? All these little teeny things are efficiency things that we need to be looking at and ripping apart.
I never thought to send a voicemail that I leave as a call critique. Like, what am I saying when I leave a message?
Steve just critiqued something or something. I forget what it was, but we just critiqued something.
Like, that never even occurred to me on that. So I'm like, that's a good point. And then that should probably be the message that I leave on the automated ones too.
Of course.
You know, so I'm like, I've got to clean that up. Yep. And that's all REI Blackbook stuff too. I've got to change all the messages in there because I did it last summer. I don't know what I said.
The voicemails I leave are the ones that are on the script.
That's okay. It's your voice sometimes too. Not you.
It's tonality a lot of the times.
We got some from Dan. I don't know if you heard him. I backed him, but I said, Dan, you sound like you're on a stage reading a script. That's not how you talk to me. He started laughing, like he caught himself. Like, listen to these messages, then you go, why would someone call you back? Like, it was robotic. It sounded like you might as well send an AI freaking message. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I mean. You can read the script. Everyone here will leave a different message reading the same script. Yeah. So it's some of that's confidence. Okay. By the way, I know I'm driving nuts this, but how do you increase your confidence? Doing it, yeah. But doing confidence. Jessica, Steve has brought her up a lot, and I commented this morning, Steve. I said her name a few times because she said to Colin yesterday morning before you guys got here. I critiqued it, and I gave her this one little thing. You know what she said last night on our nightly calls? I did that one thing and I got the person on the phone and it was so cool. So she's taking and doing it and then sending that next call. That's the idea of the call critiques. That's the idea. And it's how many you can get in. I hit Jose this morning. Steve said, Jose, you sound like he's getting over by a truck. Like, sounded really down. I was actually concerned. I didn't know calls. I did this and I said, you sound like you're run over by a truck and I haven't seen a call from you this year and you had this grand plan to come from. This is stuff that we say all these things, but we don't. You guys should be doing a call and like begging us to send it back quicker so you can put that into play to do another one and send that. And that's how fast Steve and I will do it. I don't think we hold anyone up more than like 3 days. I'm pretty good with it. And we'll make that more efficient, I think, with the channel. So side note. Yeah, so some of your questions on money yesterday with Nick or why, in my opinion, should have been, how can I make this work? And if I got to get rid of something, good. That's a good tweak. Our tech stack right now in our company runs around, just the budget, runs between $3 to $6 grand a month, and it's crazy. So we have to check it like every 4 months and go, what the hell is that one doing? They haven't used it. So it's okay, drop ship. And because tech moves so fast, see what you can do to be more efficient. Like Rick just showed us he already implemented, which is cool. Rick, he just left and did it. That's the tabs. That's something that will improve my efficiency for sure. And these are the minutes. Do you realize what Nick said yesterday to this book? When you get thrown off your flow, it takes
23 in the phone.
How many seconds?
14 yesterday.
14 minutes?
Minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And yet we will get in a calling session for 15 minutes and let someone distract us or a call.
Or a tab.
Yeah, or a tab or a ding.
A ding.
Yeah.
It's just, so when I say 50 minutes with no distraction, I assume everybody goes, okay, I'm just gonna block it off. And then I hear from everybody go, nah, not really, I don't really block it off. It's crazy. So just think about this stuff. If we got nothing else out of Nick yesterday, because Zach said, was it too much for people? I said, well, if nothing else, everybody, including myself, got the efficiency piece out of it. You gotta be more efficient. Don't do more work, you just be more efficient.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
What did you say about the 15 minutes? Is that what he time blocks? I didn't.
No,
quite-
5-0.
Oh, 5-0. Okay.
You guys all should be time, well, you can time block more as much as you want. I just mentally, for me, 50 works. Because I used to be really like, oh man, I gotta do 4 hours of calls. When I first started, I would do 3 or 4 hours, no problem. But it would be way too boring. So I do 50, take a break, get a tea, 50, whatever, just to get myself.
I think she's referring to the flow.
So, you talking about the disruptive downtime, or are we talking about the session that I was mentioning?
No, I just didn't hear. I thought you said 15, so I couldn't place it on, it's hard to hear sometimes. So I was like, okay, 15, now I understand what you're talking about. So thank you for clearing that up.